Way to go.
And scene. That was good. That was good. Carl, we're doing another little mini. We love a little mini.
I love a little mini. People, minis are kicking our feet up.
Yeah.
Pulling down our hair.
Yeah.
We're
Got a lovely drink.
Torched a fire.
Yeah.
If you will. It's crackling in the background.
Oh God, I'm relaxed.
Wow.
This is a calming episode.
This is really zen.
Yeah.
That's why we're reviewing Evan Almighty.
Let's get talking about religion. I think that.
We'll open up a can of worms, shall we?
My name is Oscar.
And my name is Carl, and this is a Who Would Watch This Mini
Evan Almighty episode. We haven't worked out the intro to these. Give us some feedback.
Stay with us because we're pre-recording a lot.
A lot.
Evan Almighty currently has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.4 on IMDb, and a 2.3 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
Newscaster Evan Baxter, Steve Carell, leaves Buffalo behind when he wins a seat in Congress, moving his wife, Laura Graham, and family to Northern Virginia. He seems to have it made. Then God, Morgan Freeman, throws a crisis of biblical proportions at his feet. The Lord wants him to build an ark and line up all the animals 2 by 2 in preparation for a flood. This is a sequel to Bruce Almighty.
Wild, it's a sequel to Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
Considering this is a G-rated kids film and Bruce Almighty was like an M adult comedy.
Yeah.
The thoughts on Bruce Almighty? Do we like Bruce Almighty?
I haven't seen it for a very long time. I remember liking it.
It's a fun concept for a comedy.
I think is it late Jim Carrey, but I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like 2003.
Jennifer Aniston's in it.
Oh, well, there's a hit.
Everyone's having fun. Everyone's having a ball. But I guess like Steve Carell had that fun moment in Bruce Almighty where he's like taken over on the telecast.
Yeah,
and he
that
can't
is
say
funny.
anything.
But it is crazy. Like, give that man 90 minutes and don't let him do any of the comedy he wants to do.
I guess the thing is between that, it was The Office was out and The 40-Year-Old Virgin was out.
Yeah.
So I guess you're like, oh, who was a supporting character in a movie we've already had?
Yeah.
So. And I guess, how much was the budget for this? This was a huge budget.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
$200 million. Most expensive
You
comedy.
you don't do that. That should be illegal.
Yeah.
I reckon you should have to pitch. I reckon if you're going to produce a movie for an exuberant amount of money, you should have to like pitch it to the government.
No, you don't have to do that. You go to the orphanage and you go, right, all you kids could be saved, or we make Evan Almighty.
Yeah. Here's the plot, and and it's up to them. I just want, but they're like, it has to be unanimous, and there's always one kid that's a movie buff being like, I'd like to see how it goes. So they can pull it off.
Oh, Jasper, we had parents lined up. You stupid. Listen, I'm a big fan of the arts.
The producers just like roll the cameras, execute the parents.
They're standing by. All right, guys, now here your rags back. Go back to your bad life. We're making Evan Almighty with $200 million.
Don't invite them to the premiere. It'll bum everyone out.
They've got a stench. I don't want them there.
All right. What's next? Who wants to pitch to them Chicken Little? Jasper's like, you got Zachy B? No, not again.
Right out the other new parents shoot him.
I love the idea that as a parent, you're like, oh, today we might get a kid. Or shot.
Oh, shot. What are we riding on? Evan Almighty? Oh, I'll do it now. But yeah, it costs $200 million.
Disgusting.
Doesn't look like it costs a dime, except when they show the ark, and it's like, that looks like a real boat.
And I'm pretty sure they built the boat.
Yeah, they built the boat.
Yeah, they built that boat.
Yeah.
Look, I need a refresh on the film, Oscar. Shall we view the trailer?
I think so. See, I love these trailers because they're like, let's show the funniest bits. And
And if they're not landing, it's like, it's a weird thing that like these trailers are always just like, oh look, it's how his life was at the beginning, and you're like, they're like, look how sad he is, and it's like he's just a clean man.
Yeah. Just God, he's boring. He's working an okay job and trying to support a family. I'd kill myself if that was my situation. He needs some antics.
I'd forgotten Wanda Sykes was in this.
Oh yeah.
Chris Rock shouldn't have made fun of G.I. Jane. Should have just gone right for the Evan Almighty gags.
Hey, Dad, look, 2 doves.
Well, today must be my lucky day.
I always hated this premise.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because Bruce Almighty, it's like, all right, it's God. All right, cool.
I love it. It's like, you think it would be easy to be God? Here, be God for a while, and I'm going to go on vacay. This is like...
You think it'd be hard to be Noah? I'm like, yes. He built a boat and people disliked him. Of course it'd be tough to be Noah. It was in the olden days. It would suck.
I love also it's like the Jim Carrey wasn't stitched up with any of like oh, you're going to be growing facial hair and expelling rate the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's also like not like a giant flood's coming. It's just a dam explodes. Nobody's
No.
really affected by it.
No, and I think in turn, he actually also like God's plan should have been let's stop the dam because he works at the corporation the government that's building the dam.
Yeah, is it an environmental film and a Christian film?
Yeah, that's a good Venn diagram. You get the whole put $200 million into that sliver.
Yeah,
and you're
that's
getting,
right.
I know that this doesn't make any sense.
God, I remember there's just like
The next chapter, do you reckon they had a planned trilogy?
5. Next, we're gonna do Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel's hanging in front of you. Your brother's gonna try and kill you through an entire kids film.
we're gonna do
Ed Helms.
Ed Helms in this. Good for him. I mean, it's a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Antics.
It's so funny because it's like everybody knows there's 2 things that you shouldn't work on in a film. It's don't do movies that use a lot of water, and don't work with children, and don't work with animals. And this movie's like, they're all together.
They're all together.
200 million.
Damn.
I can't believe he's got that boat. Isn't this a weird trailer because it does the entire plot?
Yeah, pretty much great. Look, here's the thing. This episode, just watch the trailer.
Look, there's the boat going.
Yeah.
Look at it. It does not look
That
good.
actually is a good point. Like, why would you watch that? Like, because there's no funny bits, really. So you're kind of like, all right, well, I guess I feel like I got the comedy and I know the plot. Do I want to see Steve Carell build a boat and the hijinks that would ensue with that? Not really.
Right?
Do we go through the plot, Carl? Because I mean, I remember actually I quickly skimmed through this on Netflix.
Yeah, go on.
And for Steve,
I've tried to watch this again. I tried.
I think we both did. Because you said it's really religious, and I'm like, really? And it kind of starts off like, it's not like. Not really it's just like he's very religious.
It's also not fun for children.
No.
Like 20 minutes in, I was like, I'm bored, and I think children should be
They're
too.
at Congress for like 20 minutes, just like, let's sign a bill. You're like, oh God, the animal shop is like, it's too late. We're doing legislation. I just don't think it's going to land.
How many animals do we think were harmed on this movie?
Oh,
I reckon all of them.
Yeah.
Almost 2 of every kind.
The production was like, get 2 of every animal and maim them.
Hurt them. Get them. You know the RSPCA ad where they like run across the screen in bandages?
Yeah.
They were the leftovers from this film.
That was behind the scenes. Them going to their trailer, like, God, it's a living wage.
But
But I don't
sir,
know.
I don't want to injure these animals. It'll be fine. They'll be used in an ad campaign for RSPCA next
We're
week.
not
so
paying
they're
them. We're
fine.
not paying them.
They're getting a career out of this. Don't you worry. Don't you want to be a star? Now break its leg.
Break a leg, a giraffe's leg. It starts off, Steve Carell does the whole thing. Essentially, like, weird shit starts happening. The first thing that the film starts with, like, Steve Carell, next to him, they buy 8 plots of land in his name. And Steve Carell doesn't know what's happening at this point. But his wife's like, what the fuck? Why'd you buy 8 things of land next to you? He's like, listen, I don't know what's going on. Let's just see what happens.
Oh my God. Divorce that man.
Yeah.
I've looked at buying some land recently.
Yep.
Holy shit. Is it expensive?
The podcast is going well, but, you know, it's still out of the realm.
I've looked and then I've been bothered by real estate agents constantly calling me being like, we saw you express some interest. And I was like, yeah, I was just interested in like how much it was costing. And they were like, well, what's your budget? And I was like, oh, I'm poor. I don't have a budget to give. I just want to know what the price would be. And they're like, oh, well, I guess it's probably going to be like, I'm like, just give me a ballpark figure. So something to save towards if I want to buy land.
Yeah.
Don't hound me. I've had 3 calls from them. Just not a joke, just being like, this one's good. It'll probably be like a deposit of about 20,000. I'm like, I don't have $20,000 to give to you. I've said I'm poor before. Stop trying to sell me land. So I would also divorce Steve Carell in this
he's bought
situation.
8 of them.
And you know what? I'd give him 1 kid as a consolation prize. The young one. I think the other 2, they'll go on to good things.
I thought the one boy was like a punishment, just like, here, you can have a kid, and that really should get you. Animals start to follow him. I feel like most of the film,
Some of them break into his car.
a lot of shit in the. There's a
Oh,
lot of
there's
shit.
a lot of shit gags, isn't
Yeah.
there? A lot of shit and piss gags. It's very. I haven't seen it, but like furry vengeance.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
what I
Is that
assume-
a Brendan Fraser one?
Yeah, I assume that's what furry vengeance is like.
Yeah, it's pretty much a lot of that. It's like the elephant shits, the bird shit,
Yeah.
the pig shit everywhere. Yeah, animals start following him. Grows a beard.
Yeah.
He keeps seeing like the number 614. What does that mean? It's a Bible verse, so that's a bit of fun
gross.
for kids.
Is this comedy being like he sees Bible verses and he grows beards at a rapid rate?
I feel like I saw Santa Claus. Imagine seeing Santa Claus going, "You know what works about that? Tim Allen growing a beard." That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. They're completely copying that, aren't they?
They are.
I think it's pulled off in the Santa Claus.
Because it's Santa Claus. It's not Noah.
Yeah, that's right. How funny would it be if God came down and was like, "Oh, you think you know how to do things? Well, how about you try living through the movie The Santa Claus?"
That's my personal hell.
Starts getting followed by reindeer. I don't understand why people don't believe him, considering so many animals are following him everywhere.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what, maybe it's true because this is a weird environment and there's fucking 2 polar bears following him everywhere. So
Maybe listen to the victims.
where's this meant to be? Because the full plains of Africa is pretty much like behind this boat at one stage.
North Virginia.
Is there a lot of room in North Virginia?
Listen, we tried to buy land there. The podcast studio was going to be really situated there.
I wanted to be in a boat.
It's just. Can I buy the Ark? The real estate agent's like, I've got a good offer on the Ark.
You know how, like, if you're in Hawaii or wherever they shot it, it's just like the remnants of all the sets of Jurassic Park were just left behind.
Yeah.
I'd love it if in North Virginia, there's just the remnants of the Evan Almighty sets. Like, I know you got an Ark now. That's on the government to sort out what to do with.
All right, we're done there. Can we burn it? No, it's waterlogged, so it's staying there rotting. Anyway, God comes down. He's like, Morgan Freeman pretty rocks up. Goes, we're doing a sequel. Yeah, you're Noah.
He's like, we couldn't get Jim back.
Yeah.
I'm
back. You know.
What other, like, have you seen Noah, the Darren Aronofsky film?
No, I did look up that for my research of Noah's Ark. That seems like another $150 million film. Where it's like, oh, it's sort of like a big blockbuster religious film, but then it's Darren Aronofsky, so he's like, what if it's, what if fuck you? And then the audience like, that wasn't good.
And it's a bit like that, where it's like, hey, I made a Christian movie that isn't good for Christians and not good for non-Christians.
The marketing team was like, we're not marketing to the other side, we're marketing to Christians. Like, well, it didn't fucking do well.
It's a pretty looking film.
Yeah.
I will give it that. I'll give you that, Darren Aronofsky. I felt like definitely one of those instances where they were just like, we want Darren Aronofsky to make a blockbuster, and the studio was like, we don't know what he would do.
Yeah. We'll give him $150 million. He wants to touch on religion.
He's like, you got that arc left over from Evan Almighty? I could work with that.
Could you imagine?
On the poster, starring the arc from Evan Almighty comes
He had some rough
Noah.
years. He got some rough years, but he's back on his top. He's back on top, baby.
He went to rehab. It's like, if this arc is to do another Christian film, he will drink himself to death.
Remember Titanic? Sank twice. Got back up and then kept doing ODing.
That's the role for an arc. Is like, God, I want to play the Titanic.
I'm stuck on this biblical shit. I want to do a period piece. I'd be respected.
Do you realize how hard it is to get roles if you're a light wooden timbered boat? You get pigeonholed into Christian movies.
The black boats have it all good, but the wooden boats. Yeah, so pretty much like John Goodman, I think, is the villain. And like it's weird because like a lot of it's like legal things. Essentially, like Evan's like coming up a congressman, and I think he has like sort of is touching on the boat, but then John Goodman takes it, not the boat, the dam. John Goodman's like, well, I'm evil. Let's fill the.
So there's politics in this too.
Oh yeah, politics and religion in a kids' film with animals.
Oh my God.
$200 million, baby. John Goodman's like, fill it with sponges. See what I care. The dam. It bursts.
Does he say that?
No. He's like, but like similar.
Oh, okay. I feel like it's almost not a bad idea.
No, soak it up.
What's the issue? It rains too much in their environment.
No, it's just that so like, I think Steve Carell was like part of this corrupt government, and they budget cut the dam, and then the dam breaks because it's very cheap, and then that's the flooding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the town doesn't barely get submerged.
Why don't no? Well, you know exactly. Like all the people that are protesting the Ark are like, "Fucking hell, get on the Ark."
Yeah, I know, right? And everybody else that was like, you know, let him build his ark. I hope he has a good day today. They drown in the town.
They drown. I don't get why they have the animals, because like in Noah's Ark, it's like, oh, it's to repopulate the whole population.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's just like, we brought
Animals from around the world are like, oh no, there's going to be a flood in North Virginia. Get there quick.
a toucan's like, I'm a flightless bird, but fuck. I can fly, but I think I should fly there, sit on an ark, and then leave.
I love the idea that these polar bears made all their way over, they just die in the environment.
Oh god, it's fucking West Virginia.
There's not a snow section to this boat. I'm dying.
It's like Zootopia, but they had, let's not have different sections, let's have them all in an arid desert. See what happens.
Imagine just being like, oh, hey, Barry the polar bear, you want to come hunt with me today? Nah, I gotta get to North Virginia. God's trying to prove a point again. Another fucker's trying to build an ark.
God, he's wrote me and he called a favor. God fucking damn
It's
it.
one of those weird things where it's surprising that they were like, oh, let's make it more of a movie for kids than Bruce Almighty was.
Yeah.
Considering Bruce Almighty made double at the box office than this film. I think Bruce Almighty made like over $400 million.
Yeah, close to 500 million.
Yeah, what did this make?
Not enough.
I assume it teetered around 200.
I imagine so.
Has a 4.2 on Google review. What the fuck is with Google review?
Don't listen to Google review. Google review is a constant like 5-star, then 1 star that's like, I watched it, it was bad. And a 5's like, you gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
Damn. Okay, my mistake. The budget was $175 million. Could be more. It made $174 million.
Oh no.
So just budget alone for the filmmaking didn't even cover that.
Isn't this like one of the biggest bombs of all time?
Probably.
How much did it lose? Like, I feel like there'd be a thing that's like, how much money did Evan Almighty lose?
Yeah.
So the worldwide total was $173.4 million, leaving Universal with about $95.3 million after the theaters cut, making Evan Almighty one of the biggest box office wipeouts of all time. The picture lost at least $100 million after ancillary market sales.
God, those orphans must have been livid.
So annoyed. They were like, oh, it wasn't even good. Jasper's like, oh, God, I wish I had parents to just make me feel better about having watched that movie.
I'm alone with people that hate me and this orphan. I'm cold. I'm so cold. I asked for another bowl and they slapped me.
Yeah. All right, Oscar. So who do we think this is for? Who would watch this?
I think, listen, if it wasn't for Noah, this would be the only arc. I feel like Darren Aronofsky took a lot of, like, from this film. He was like...
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was like, what not to do? And then he said, all right, I'm going to do the opposite of that. And that also wasn't the thing to do. Essentially, you can't... Here's the thing. You need a visionary to do a Noah Ark tale. You need to get Denis Villeneuve. He could do Dune. He could do Noah's Ark.
What other... like Christian parables do we think could be turned into big blockbuster comedies
for kids? Passion of Christ.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But like it's fun. Like it's like I get hissed in the balls. It's like oh Jesus.
Like Adam and Eve would be fun, right?
Yeah, I think
God's
so.
like, we'll take away your clothes for a full film. You know, it's like they try and dress and it disappears like the beard, but it's that the entire time. And then snakes start following them around, and the only food they can eat is apple.
And then the last 30 minutes is them kicked out of there and they're meant to wander the desert alone and afraid.
Through the Virginian desert.
David and Goliath, but it's a buddy cop film.
Oh, that would sell. That would sell. I'd get Eddie Murphy to play both.
Yeah.
I think that would be incredible. Oh my God. I think there's a lot you could do here. I think the Almighty movies would be fun.
Yeah.
You got Bruce Almighty.
I do want a Marvel Cinematic Universe of Bruce.
Oh my God.
The Almighties.
How funny would it be if Universal was like, we need another cinematic universe. Fire back up the Almighties. We'll have Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, Eddie Murphy, whoever we cast in the Cain and Abel one. They all band together to do a penultimate one about just the Bible coming to life.
They have to defeat the devil.
You get smited. It's just them really just surviving like, this is the end.
It's $1 billion industry and it made 5.
Well, the idea Universal's sinking like $5 billion into Almighty is what they'll title it.
Here's the thing. Christians make out about 1 billion people on the earth. $1 a ticket, you're making $1 billion. $2 billion. Keep going up. Make it a $15 ticket. Oh my God.
15 billion. Oh my God. Do we become a Christian podcast?
I think so.
I watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye. That's like a Christian podcast, but back in the day and not. Don't worry, guys. We got a full episode for you next week. These are pre-recorded because I'm traveling.
Here's the thing, guys. Although the quality has maintained a bar level of not really much, but hey, it's something every week.
It's true. It's what you love, but shorter.
Yeah.
And more manageable. And we haven't watched the film.
Yeah. So really, why wouldn't you give us money?
Yeah.
And that's we're releasing a paid. No. No.
But next week, it is a movie we have watched. And what is it, Oscar?
It's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. 2.
No.
We have not seen the first. We
No.
decided to go straight into the second and be confused for your enjoyment.
Oh, thank God. I reckon I'm going to love it, personally. Blake Lively, good for her.
Yeah.
Ugly Betty, good for
For
her.
The others.
Rory from Gilmore Girls, good for
for
her.
her.
The other girl in it? I don't think she's in other things.
Get this.
Yeah?
Married David Cross.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Playing it up. I don't know why I just said
Wow, good for her.
Yeah.